Let me ask you something deeply personal. How many more years are you going to keep paying someone else's mortgage? Right now, tonight, there's a landlord somewhere, not losing a single minute of sleep, whose retirement fund is being quietly built by your rent payment. Every month. Like clockwork. You set the reminder. You send the money. And he gets richer. That same landlord bought that property 15 years ago for half what it is worth today. He locked in a 3% mortgage rate that has not moved a single dollar since. And while you hand him rent that rises every year, rent you have zero control over, he is sitting on an asset that has doubled in value, building wealth he will pass to his children. And you? You are starting from zero. Again. Every single year. Before you tell yourself buying is impossible in 2026, that rates are too high, that prices are out of reach, that you just need to wait a little longer, stay with me. Because what I am about to show you is not a motivational speech. It is the cold, clear, uncomfortable financial truth that most people, including most financial creators, are too afraid to say directly. I am Milton, and on this channel we talk about money, wealth building, investing, and the mindset required to escape financial mediocrity. If you are serious about building real financial freedom, not the version sold on social media, but the kind that actually changes your life, subscribe. We go deep here. No hype. No fluff. Just serious financial thinking. Now, let us get into the most important housing decision of your life. I want to start with one statistic. Just one. The median net worth of a homeowner in the United States right now is approximately $396,000. The median net worth of a renter? $10,400. That is a 38-to-1 wealth gap. And before you say homeowners were already wealthy, researchers have studied this at the same income level. Even earning identical salaries, homeowners consistently build dramatically more wealth. Not because they earn more. Because their home is doing work their paycheck never could. Here is exactly what that work looks like. Every mortgage payment you make is partially a forced savings deposit, building equity that belongs to you. Rent builds zero equity. Every dollar disappears into your landlord's account and never comes back. Property values appreciate. The average long-run appreciation in the United States sits between 3% and 5% annually. On a $400,000 home, that is up to $20,000 in growing wealth per year before you make a single mortgage payment. And you are using leverage almost no other investment gives ordinary people. Put $40,000 down on a $400,000 home. It appreciates 4%. You gain $16,000 on a $40,000 investment. That is a 40% return on your actual cash, while the stock market averages roughly 10%. Renters get none of this. And here is the number that makes this viscerally real. If you are paying $1,500 per month in rent, you are giving your landlord $18,000 every year. Over 10 years, before rent increases, that is $180,000 handed to someone else, enough for a down payment 3 times over. Here is the unfiltered picture of the market right now. Mortgage rates sit at approximately 6.3% on a 30-year fixed loan. The median home price is around $411,000. That means a monthly payment of roughly $2,240 on a 10% down payment. Painful? Yes. Insurmountable? Not for everyone. Here is what almost nobody is telling you. In 57.7% of U.S. counties, the monthly cost of owning is actually lower than the monthly cost of renting, assuming a reasonable down payment. The narrative that buying is always more expensive than renting in 2026 is simply not true across the board. In coastal cities, New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, renting still wins in the short term. But in the Midwest and South, Detroit, Memphis, Indianapolis, Birmingham, buying beats renting clearly, even at today's rates. Location is not a lifestyle preference in 2026. It is a financial decision of the highest magnitude. Now about those rates. Every expert telling you to wait for rates to drop is making one assumption they never state out loud, that home prices will stay flat while you wait. They will not. Even at the current 1% annual appreciation, a $400,000 home costs $4,000 more next year. If rates drop 0.5%, you save roughly $120 a month. But the higher price already costs you $4,000 upfront. The math does not reward waiting in most scenarios. The real estate world has a saying, marry the house, date the rate. Buy the right home at the right price. Refinance when rates fall. It is not a slogan. It is a mathematically sound strategy. Here is where this gets personal. Because this question does not have one answer. It has three, depending on who you are. Person 1, you want to buy but you are genuinely not financially ready. No stable down payment. Credit score below 620. High interest debt. Unstable income. Buying right now is not a wealth-building move. It is a leveraged bet on stability you cannot afford to make. What should you do? Rent strategically. Set a precise savings target. Build your credit methodically. Give yourself a 12 to 18-month runway with a specific finish line, not an indefinite someday. Because the single worst financial outcome of renting is renting forever with no plan to stop. Person 2, you are financially ready but waiting for perfect conditions. You have the down payment, the credit score, the stable income. But you are waiting for rates below 5%. Or a price crash. Or some perfect window the market simply does not produce on command. I want to say this to you directly, you are not being disciplined. You are being paralyzed. Every month you wait is another month of rent paid with zero return, another month of prices ticking higher, and another month of widening gap between where you are and where ownership would already have you. The break-even point between renting and buying in 2026 is 4 to 6 years in most markets. Do you plan to stay in your area for 5 or more years? If yes, the financial case for buying right now is clear, measurable, and real, regardless of current mortgage rates. Person 3, renting is genuinely the smarter move for your situation. Moving cities in 2 years for a career opportunity? Renting is correct. In an extreme price-to-rent ratio market? Renting may make short-term sense. Going through a major life transition? Renting preserves flexibility you genuinely need. But renting is only financially intelligent when it is strategic, temporary, and paired with a clear alternative wealth-building plan. Renting because you have not gotten around to the alternative is not a strategy. It is drift. Let me address the most common thing renters tell themselves. Renting is not wasting money. I am paying for a place to live. Technically true. But here is what that framing hides. Homeownership also gives you a place to live. The question is never shelter versus no shelter. The question is, shelter plus equity, appreciation, and wealth building, or shelter plus zero long-term financial return. Here is the math that settles it. If you bought the median-priced American home 10 years ago for $250,000, that home is worth approximately $415,000 today. You gained $165,000 in equity from appreciation alone. Over that same decade, the median renter spent an estimated $172,000 on rent and ended up with zero equity, zero ownership stake, and a monthly payment significantly higher than when they started. One household built $165,000 passively. The other spent $172,000 and built nothing. That is not a conversation about discipline or willpower. That is the mathematical consequence of one decision made 10 years ago. Here is the precise answer. 5 conditions. If all 5 are true, you should buy in 2026. 1. You plan to stay in the same area for at least 5 years. Below that, transaction costs eat your gains. 2. You have 3% to 5% saved for a down payment, plus 2% to 5% for closing costs. 3. Your total monthly housing payment, principal, interest, taxes, insurance, does not exceed 28% to 30% of your gross monthly income. 4. You have stable income and an emergency fund of at least 3 months that you will not drain for the down payment. 5. Your local price-to-rent ratio is below 20. Divide the home price by annual rent for a comparable property. Below 15 strongly favors buying. Above 25, renting may make more sense short term. All 5 true? Buy. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Do not wait for a crash that virtually every housing economist says is not coming in 2026. 1 or 2 missing? Rent strategically, fix what needs fixing, and set a real calendar date to revisit this decision, not a vague intention, a specific date. Let me bring it back to where we started. That landlord sleeping peacefully tonight is not smarter than you. Not more disciplined. Not luckier. He made one decision at one moment in time, to stop renting and start owning. And that single decision has been compounding wealth every year since. That opportunity is still in front of you. Maybe not today. Maybe you are person 1 and you need 12 months to build your foundation. That is not failure. That is honest self-assessment, which is the beginning of every intelligent financial decision. But if you are person 2, ready, equipped, and waiting for conditions that the market does not deliver on schedule, hear this clearly. The best time to buy was 10 years ago. The second best time is when you are financially prepared to do so responsibly. And the most expensive decision you can make is staying permanently in between, ready enough to be frustrated, not committed enough to act. You know which person you are. You have known since the first 30 seconds of this video. Now do something with that knowledge. Subscribe to this channel and leave a comment. Tell me which of the 3 people you are right now. I read everyone. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more.